Hello everybody, I'm back with another video, and I promised you guys that I would go into the TSP, which is the Thrift Savings Program. Plan, Thrift Savings Plan. I actually got the website right here. If you just go to Google and type in Thrift Savings Plan, you can basically view everything that I'm going to show you guys. What the Thrift Savings Plan is it's a retirement savings account through government employees. So whether you're military or federal employee, you can, invest in the Thrift Savings Plan, and it's a pretty awesome concept because they'll take it right out of your paycheck, so you don't even see the money, right? So what I want to talk about is the 6 funds that are in the TSP. Okay, guys, I managed to flip the screen around here. So if you guys can see what I'm looking at, so we got the G fund, the F fund, the C fund, the S fund, the I fund, and the L fund. Okay, so when you open up a thrift savings plan, it defaults into the G fund, which is the most secured fund. It averages about 2% each year, which isn't much. It is the absolute safest fund, and it doesn't move. It's not volatile at all. The next one is the F fund, and it's the description says government, corporate, and mortgage-backed bonds. So that's going to be more of a bond fund, which you're not going to see much returns. A little bit more than G fund, but not as much as the next one here that we're going to be talking about is the C fund. This is the stocks of large and medium-sized U.S. companies. It is the basically mirrors the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in the U.S. So it's basically the U.S. stock market. The S fund, which is the medium to the small to medium-sized U.S. companies, which is another U.S. Heavy mutual fund, basically, which is also a good one. Its returns are higher than the G and the F fund. The next one is the international fund. That is obviously international, overseas, different countries. And the last one is L fund. It is actually a life cycle fund. That's what the L stands for. And it basically breaks it up into multiple categories. So you got G, F, C, S, and I fund that it kind of spreads it out over. So it kind of diversifies your portfolio there. Okay, guys, I'm back on the screen. So the fund that I really want to talk about is the C fund, because me personally, I do 100% C fund, and I'll tell you why. The C fund, I did my research on every single fund in the TSP, right? And my research showed that over a long period of time, 10, 15, 20 years, that the C fund outperforms every other fund. Although it is much higher risk, I'm going to do that parentheses risk, because the longer you leave it in, which it's a retirement account, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, 59 and a half is when you can touch it. So me being, 23, 24 years old, I have 37 more years. No, wait, that's way off. I don't know. 25, at least 30 years in there. Sorry, my math's way off. But, I still got a solid 30 years that I can, invest in this. The market's going to crash maybe five times in 30 years, and over a long period of time, it trends up. It averages. Actually, I'm going to wait on that. So I'm going to turn the screen around, and we're going to basically assess this fund, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, I got the screen flipped around here. So this is the C fund. Stands for Common Stock Index Investment Fund, and this is under the TSP. So basically, just looking at this, I want to show you guys the average annual returns of the C fund. This is as of December 2016, so little outdated, but that's okay. So let's look at this. Since 1988, which is the inception date when this fund was opened, this fund has returned on an average 10.16%. Now, I don't know if you guys know about the 72 rule, but as long as your money is pulling in, well, not money, as long as your investment is pulling in 7.2%, here, let me put this back up here, 7.2%, your money will double in 10 years, okay? So if you guys look here, this 5-year, over the past 5 years, it's averaged 14.73%. Anybody who was invested in a C fund 5 years ago, their money doubled, because the 72 rule cut down for 5 years. 7 times 2 is 14, and 7.2 times 2 is 14, almost 14 and a half. That does above 14 and a half. Dude, that everybody's money doubled in the last 5 years. I mean, that's incredible. If you had, $100,000 saved up for your retirement fund, you now have $200,000. Oh, just from the past 5 years. And when you're talking long-term investments, 25, 30 years, I mean, that is incredible, guys. Look at this 1 year return is 12%, right? If you had, $10,000 in there, 12% is $1,200 on a $10,000 investment. If you had $100,000, guys, you would have made $12,000 last year in 1 year. I mean, that is incredible. So I got the screen back turned around, but I just really want to stress to you guys that to those of you that are invested in the TSP, I would really highly suggest moving, some, if not all, if you have, a while till you retire, into this C fund, guys, because it is incredible. You guys can make a lot of money and really retire with dignity out there. So this is why, I definitely would recommend the C fund. And just a quick caveat on that: the C fund is the top 500 companies in the U.S. Today. So you're talking Microsoft, you're talking Apple, you're talking big brand name companies. As long as the market, the market trends up, guys. I know everybody is crazy about, who's president or what's going on, what's going to happen tomorrow. Like when you guys are looking at 10, 15, 20-year investments, guys, it's averaging 10% there. It's incredible. I'm going to run the numbers on you, or not on you. I'm going to run the numbers real quick for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, I pulled up a investment calculator here so I can kind of show you guys, break it down. I'm gonna punch the numbers in here, and we're basically gonna crunch the numbers and see what we could potentially be making. So I'm 23 years old. I'm sure there's a lot of older viewers out here, and maybe even younger viewers that are looking to invest. I just want to show you guys. So I'm gonna run the numbers at age 30. Hopefully it's a happy medium between you guys. And then I'll enter the age 59 and a half. Normally is when you can touch this money. So I'm going to put it on 60. Just round it up here. Okay, how much have you saved for retirement? Hopefully you guys have some money put away already, but I'm just going to say zero. For, let's say, the investor who has absolutely no money in there at all whatsoever, and they're watching this video. How much will you contribute each month? Let's say $100, guys. I'm sure you guys could pull out $100. You guys spend money on pizza, beer, cigarettes, all kinds of crap, coffee, lattes. $100 a month, I think is definitely doable, depending on how much your annual income is. So I'm gonna say $100 a month, which will be in turn $1,200 a year, and then we're gonna run the percentage at what the C fund has been averaging for the last, 35 years, 10.16%, guys. So let's go back to the calculator and let's run the numbers. 10.16% on $100. I just want to show you guys how much money a 30-year investment of doing this would be. Now, I just clicked calculate, and your investment at 10% would be $224,000 in 30 years. The growth on it is $188,000, and your contributions, the money that you put in, is $36,000, guys. That's incredible. You put in $36,000, and your investment went to $224,000. Guys, that is incredible. So, as you guys can see, that is why completely really stress to people that they need to start investing and having that compound interest just really multiply and multiply. I mean, $36,000 has grew into $224,000. That is incredible, guys. Incredible. So if you guys like what you saw and you guys want to, learn about more investments and opportunities and strategies that you guys can do, make sure you guys subscribe and leave a comment down below if you guys want to hear about maybe some of the other funds or have some views about that, or even like with a Roth IRA or traditional IRA for civilians that don't have a federal government job that can get into the TSP. I can show you guys a lot of stuff, but make sure you guys if you guys like what you saw, like the video, and make sure you guys subscribe. As always, guys, take care and support our troops.